Okay, hello and maligayang pagbabalik sa FS 131. I hope you had a fruitful reading break and the restful one as well, and I hope you and your loved ones are doing well. So, today we'll be discussing consumer tests. Kaya halika, simulan na tayo. Consumer tests are also known as affective tests, and these tests usually deal with laymen, consumers, and we probe their feelings regarding our food products. So the purpose of affective tests is to assess personal response is either a preference or level of acceptance of current or potential customers to certain products, like a product being developed, an idea for a new product, or certain or specific product characteristics. So for example, when there is a change done to a certain popular product, you may want to use an affective test beforehand to see if that change will be accepted well by the consumers. So case in point, tingnan na lang yung Lucky Me Pancit Canton na pinalitan yung noodles before from round to flat tapos nagreklamo yung mga tao. Ngayon, flat pa rin siya pero mas manipis na kasi mas gusto daw ng mga tao yung manipis na noodles. So just like most of the sensory tests we've discussed, affective tests have a lot of uses, especially in the area of product development. So product maintenance is looking at the quality of the product and seeing if the consumers have changed. So if you have the same product but the younger generation may want things less sweet or they're more health conscious or etc. Okay, you may want to use it to improve or optimize their product na sabihin mo, mas may isasarap pa tong produkto ko. Okay, you can also use this for the development of new products, especially if it's a new product category or let's say a new flavor or variant of an existing line, like let's say juices or potato chips. Di ba? Merong mga pumalpak na sa market na mga flavors and I don't know if they tested it beforehand. You can also use this for quick service restaurants and other food service chains, no? For example, if you want to have a new pie, pocket pie flavor, it can also be used to assess market potential, especially the qualitative affective tests such as focus group discussions, wherein you can get in-depth information from the consumers, which you cannot normally get using the answering of hedonic scales. You can also do benchmarking, comparison of products by offering, let's say, competing products side by side and looking at both their quantitative and qualitative aspects. So in class before, I had the sensory evaluation of hot dogs from different brands, manufacturers. And nalaman namin doon na meron palang isang brand ng hotdog na hindi pa masyadong sikat at that time, pero kasing sarap siya in terms of liking nung number one brand that kids can tell supposedly. Of course, you can also use this to support advertising claims. So ideally, whenever you see a 9 out of 10 kids choose this product over the other, ang ibig sabihin po nun ay statistically significant, well, actually preference test yun, no? But nonetheless, statistically significant yung mga test na ginagawa nila for that, supposed to be. So katulad nga ng nabanggit ko kanina, merong dalawang klase ng affective tests, yung tinatawag nating quantitative and qualitative. For the quantitative test, these are usually divided into acceptance tests, which use hedonic rating scales, and preference tests, which may involve choosing one over the other or ranking three or more samples according to your level of preference. There's also the qualitative side, wherein instead of using questionnaires and answer sheets, you allow people to sit in a round table and then ask questions and their opinions regarding certain points regarding a food product. So for example, in the lab, we used to do this. Ang ginagawa namin is we take yung mga kakaibang products sa market, either bago sila, like there was one time when students discussed yung carbonated flavored milk beverages. There was another time nung nauso yung Knorr Rice Mates, yung hinahalo mo sa sinaing para supposedly ma-upgrade yung quality ng rice mo. And so on. Yung mga ganung bagay. I think there was one time they also discussed yung Oaties, no? Yung chocolate drink na nilagyan ng durog na oats, finely ground oats as a source of fiber. So, you can use a focus group discussion to discuss concepts in depth and look at the perspectives of the individual consumers. Focus group discussion, by the way, is something not related to just food use, but you can explore practically any concept, whether product yung tinitingnan mo or service, like let's say credit cards, etc. So, pwede mo siyang gamitin. So, quantitative and qualitative affective tests differ in three major aspects. First is the number of respondents, wherein sa quantitative, you need to have a large pool of sample size relative to the population. And for qualitative, usually, yung ini-interview mo, konti lang. Although you can have a lot more replicates. For example, a focus group can have usually less than 12 respondents, sometimes 6 lang. But you can have 5 focus group sessions, etc. Next is independent yung judgment sa quantitative kasi nga nagsisensory sila sa mga booth, hindi mo pwedeng kausapin yung katabi mo and so on. Sa qualitative, because of interactions with respondents, dahil naririnig mo yung sagot ng kapwa respondent mo, pwede kang ma-influence or pwede kang mag-interact o kontrahin yung sagot niya, or I think I have a different opinion, so on. Alright. And then lastly, sa quantitative, yung mga tanong, dekahon yan. So, isang tanong, isang sagot, meron kang hedonic scale sa harap mo, or meron kang papipiliin ka lang which sample do you like better, and yun na yun. The most flexibility you could have is maybe may blank space dun for comments. However, in a qualitative interview, so even though you have a set of open-ended questions, pwede ka magtanong ng follow-up questions dun sa panelist as the flow of the FGD goes, no? So parang pag may nabanggit yung panelist na let's say your topic is yun nga, milk beverages na carbonated, and then may nasabi yung tao na I think mas healthy siya sa soft drinks kasi may calcium content or something like that. So you could ask a follow-up question. So what made you say that, or so on? So in terms of fitness for use, when you have quantitative tests, usually ito ay hindi pwede pang probe ng issues or pag-generate ng ideas. Ibig sabihin, ano lang siya, yun lang, may objective ka, gusto mo lang malaman alin dito sa products ko yung mas okay, gaano kaya nila kagusto yung products ko. Pag qualitative, dun mo pwedeng malaman, so okay, what is wrong with my product? Why did this cheese top burger flop in the market? Then gusto nila masasabi na kasi naman yung itsura ng product, ganyan. Or kasi pag kinain mo siya, messy, mga ganon. Saan ka naman nakakita ng hamburger na yung keso nasa taas, wala sa loob? Pag hinawakan mo, tunaw na ang dumi na ng kamay mo. So yung mga ganong bagay, hindi madaling maipalabas sa mga quantitative. They can only tell you how low the acceptability is, but there's not a lot of probing as to why. In terms of quantitative, obviously, yung mga statistical analysis nandyan. Pwede kang mag-ANOVA, okay, kung meron ka namang mga scale na tawag dito ordinal, pwede ka mag non-parametric tests and so on. Correlation with demographics. Pag qualitative, since kaunti lang yung iyong tawag dito, panelists to start with, hindi siya enough to have a statistical basis. And at the same time, because their answers are mostly nominal, thematic yung magiging analysis mo. Hindi mo pwedeng i-quantify yung sagot nila na how many said yes, how many said no. You want to look at, for example, ano ba yung common threads dito sa mga statements nila? Ano ba yung, well, you can't actually generalize kasi napakaliit ng proportion ng population na tinest mo, but you can look at the striking answers to the questions that you put, and then make themes out of it, make a narrative out of it. Okay. For quantitative tests, it's normal to use statistical analysis, while for qualitative, there is yun yung tinatawag nating thematic analysis. It's subjective. Okay, you're reading into what they're saying, and medyo may pagka-arbitrary siya. Although I know there are software that can also help with qualitative analysis. I think NVivo, although I haven't used it yet. But nonetheless, you can still extract meaningful responses from your consumers.